As I'm sure you could remember from episode 2, the director was very angry with George. "We cannot use little monkeys who don't do as they are told," he said. "Of course, you cannot take part in the show now. We will have to send you home." George had to sit on the bench all by himself, and nobody even looked at him. He was terribly sorry for what he had done, but now it was too late. He had spoiled everything. Meanwhile, the ostrich was always hungry, had got a hold of a string dangling near his cage. This happened to be the string which held the door to the cage of the baby bear. As the ostrich nibbled at it, the door opened and the baby bear got out. He ran away as fast as he could and made straight for a high tree near the camp. Nobody had seen it but George, and George was not supposed to leave the bench. But this was an emergency, so he jumped up, grabbed a bugle, and blew as loud as he could. Then he rushed to his bicycle. The men had heard the alarm and thought at first that George had been naughty again. But when they saw the empty cage and the ostrich nibbling at the string, they knew what had happened. George raced toward the tree, far ahead of the men. By now the bear had climbed quite high, and this was dangerous because little bears can't climb up a tree easily. But coming down is much harder. They may fall and get hurt. The men were worried. They did not know how to get him down safely. But George had, had his plan. With the bag over his shoulder, he went up the tree as fast as only a monkey can. And when he reached the baby bear, he put him in his bag and carefully let him down so the men could safely catch him. Everybody cheered when George had come down from the tree. "You are a brave little monkey," said the director. "You saved the baby bear's life. Now you'll get your coat back, and of course you may ride your bike and play the bugle in the show." Finally the show was on. The whole town had come to see it, and how surprised they were to discover George on his bike, right in the middle of it. The newsboy was there too, and also the man with the yellow hat, who had been looking for George everywhere and who was happy to find him at last. The newsboy was glad to have his bag back, and the people from the other side of the street whose papers had made into boats were not angry with George anymore. And then George and his friend got into the car and went home. That's the end. Bye.